All right, Inferno, no problem. Relic build. Follower relics. Inferno seems to be wrecking pretty hard, and for good reason. So there's some stuff that changed this season, and then we'll go over that. Here's one of the main things that changed. As you see, you just kind of just run right through. AoE. Pretty nice. So, what changed between this season and the other that makes this build a lot stronger than it used to be? First off, as you see, I'm using 2 wands. The wand's the big part of this build, and I'm going to go over the whole thing here in just a minute with the rest of the video, but I just wanted to give an introduction. So, Mysterious Monkey Paw, Dybbuk Box, and then the Witch's Wands. Once you 5-star these, the area of effect is insane. The damage goes up. And as you see, the area of effect of these, huge, big old, massive area of effect that's happened. And what allows this to happen is the incarnation tree here. So this is what's changed this season. Being able to dual wield these wands just makes this build go pretty crazy. And we'll go into it. I'll show you some couple Uber bosses here, and then explain the beginnings of the build. And then after that, if people are interested, I'll just keep going into it, and we'll see how powerful we can get it. Hey, it's Craze. I just wanted to go over our little relic build character. I found a bunch of that stuff while we were running around this season. Mainly because they have quite a few different relic things, so we'll show you that here. For this build, we're just doing the follower relics. So you get the +2 to follower relic projectiles, a little bit more follower relic damage, and as long as you have the monkey paw and the Dybbuk box, you get the +2 follower relic amount. And all that means is that these little relics that follow you, like the War Zeppelin and whatnot, it's going to turn it into 3 of them. And then they're going to shoot more projectiles than normal. So pretty cool. Show you a little list of all the follower relics. So I've been trying all of them out. This is what I've been using so far is the Fedora, the Honeybee, the War Zeppelin, the Rock, and then I'm trying out the Minisect. Minisect shoots a bunch in like 4 different directions. The Rock, the War Zeppelin, and the Fedora, they all shoot just directly out in a little spread. And then the Honeybee shoots up into the air and drops honey on the ground that kind of slows targets. Here's the wands that go with the build. They start off at +3. And then when you get them to +6, which is just a plus 5 stars, they get 200% damage, 150% area of effect. So I got 2 of those to go with the build with dual wanding. Soulforge Ring, just replicating that. You could use an Arcanist if you need to get the Arcane Resist down. Using a Shadow Cultist Wrap for now. Probably switch out a few different pairs of gloves, but I just want to see how the magic skill damage goes with the relics. Astral Roamers, since we're using mainly arcane relics. There's a few other follower relics that aren't arcane, but there's not very many, so I decided to go with an arcane type of build. If you're going to use Astral Roamers, you're going to have the Arcanist Wrath. I had a really good Arcanist Wrath, is why I'm using these. With the way that these skills work, you don't really need to use Astral Roamers. You can try out a few different things. I mean, Pearlescent Dreams if you want to wear them, stuff like that. Rugal Sash of Undertaking, since we just need to get that Arcane Resist down, and this helps with being pretty tanky. Like I showed the Arcanist Wrath. Thoth's Agony. The stat stacking seems to be the best way to scale the damage on this. And then we got the High Roller's Death Crown. I was trying a few different helmets, actually, and then I decided to go to purchase a really cheap High Roller's Death Crown just to see what I thought about the all stat. Pretty much the all attributes, and then the magic skill damage, life, and all resistances. Since the Shaman gets a bonus to his life, the base life is pretty nice, and then just all the other stats on here, pretty good for what we're doing. If you get one high rolled, definitely going to be one of the best in slot items for you. And then the rest of our charms are just stat stacking as much as you can. I was trying out the Bob's Grenade to see if the explosionary effect worked. It didn't seem to do anything. So, just stat stack. I mean, that's what we're doing with Eye of Rakul here. Sheep King's Wool. Hello, it's me, Steve. Mysterious Monkey Paw helps with that. Fulgurite. So anything that can give you more intelligence, because we're stat stacking intelligence, that'll work. And then as you see here, nice little, just a damage test real quick. Seems to do pretty good damage. I've only been invested into it for a couple, I think 2 days, just kind of gathering the relics. And then unlocking Amun-Ra to get the extra relic slot. And as you'll see, it's not too bad. Like if we pop our potions here. Let's even do a little reset. He's already doing 8 billion. Yeah, so pretty much do every content in the game, and it's pretty cheap right now since nobody in the season's really even doing this. So I figured I'd show some people, especially if you're having problems struggling. Like if you're struggling through Inferno and you're just having a hard time killing the creatures and whatnot, but you've already invested. Let's say you've already invested a little bit into your arcane build. Maybe you're an illusionist or something, and you're just not digging how much damage you're doing. Since illusionist is pretty popular this season, go ahead and just kind of pick up 2 witches wands and this gear for a little bit cheap. Then see what you think. You might do pretty good damage and might just enjoy switching over to that real quick. So like we'll even show you real quick. So Dybbuk box, and we'll go for the cheapest one since it'd be something you just want to try out. Just like 1,000 gold right here. The monkey paw is going to be the most expensive one, and that's because people use it to stat stack. So there you go. Your most expensive item is going to be the monkey paw to kind of finish out the build. And then the witch's wands. I mean, you can get like most of the build for like 1,000 something here for most of the items. So definitely might want to check that out. And as you see, pretty much just running around. You can choose a teleport character if you want. Choose kind of like maybe a Lancer. You can choose kind of any character you want to do this. I went with a Shaman for the passives and whatnot mainly. But as you see, it just rips right through Inferno right now. The investment in it is mainly the arcane character we were using beforehand. And I would say like maybe a couple of million gold, since most of the items are pretty off meta right now. And you'd be able to get really good rolled, really powerful gear for it. So that's what we have going on with that. Reason why we picked Shaman. I checked a few of the different classes. If you're going to like cast the spells yourself, using the mystery card, this is the build setup you're going to use to cast the spells. You get the 3 extra projectiles, the 3 extra casts. You get the extra projectiles, so this is a pretty powerful build. You can do something like this. You're going to pick a character. Make sure you pick somebody that can cast really quick. There's a lot of really good passives and whatnot. And that's what the idea we went with the Shaman here. So the Shaman looked real quick over some passives and stuff he had. He had arcane damage. This helped with what we're going to use. Passive life and mana. Passive movement speed and magic skill damage. And then increases your mana and mana replenish. Now, if I wanted to just be a Shaman build, I could still be a Shaman, and these could just be supplemental for me. Those little relics that are following me. But we wanted to go all in on the relics and see just how well they are, and they seem to be pretty powerful. And how Shaman works is not just the passives. You're also getting this pet here. You can spec them a few different ways if you need to. I'm not sure about if you spec them for lightning, if the stasis is going to work that well. But it could. And then you got the Astral Intellect, just to rip all your totems back over to where you're at. And then depending on how you want to spec. So if you're doing the Arcane, you're probably going to want to go these. And the Chaos Totems are going to just rip all Elemental Break. So depending on what you want to take, what relics you want to use, the Shaman's going to be able to do all elements. Meaning that you're not going to really have to worry about which relics you take so much. You're just not going to get the passive benefit of the Arcane is all. Over here, underneath the Meteor Storm, I'm getting more Elemental Break. And you're also getting a Fire debuff if you need. So, pretty nice stuff. Incarnation Tree, just a real quick run over. All you're doing here, just right off the gate, is you're just stacking intel. Later on, I went over here and I grabbed a hold of the max life, since this character gets so much bonus life with that passive. That any extra bonus life he gets, even that like that 250 there, is going to be a lot of extra life for him. Once you get the intel stacked over to here, you just rush all the way over to Dual Wands. And then after that, drop over here to Arcane Skill Damage, and you'll start doing enough damage to just get right into Inferno. Pretty much the Dual Wands will get you right into Inferno right off the bat. Reason why we care about the Wands, and why you want to star the Wands right off the bat, is the Hex Beast goes up. And the follower relic attack speed from these is a big deal. So you want to get as high attack speed off of the Dybbuk box, and as much attack speed off of the wands as you can. As soon as you put the second wand on, that extra attack speed, along with the extra Hex Beast, just makes your build kind of go through the roof. And you'll see what Hex Beast does here. So with just one wand on, you get these little explosions from all of your pets. When you put that second wand on, the explosions just go through the roof. So now you're clearing the map much quicker and much more powerful than if you just had the one wand. And that's kind of what makes this build shine this season, more than when the season came out, because of the fact that you can spec for the dual wands here. Other than that, it's pretty much just a basic arcane setup. And then we showed you why we went over the Shaman. Shaman gets to just kind of walk around and throw down totems all he wants. Little speedy dude. His extra passive just lets him move even faster. And the reason why we went with running instead of using a teleport character is because I seen that we were going to get the minus 50% cast rate, minus 50% cast rate. And then in the tree here, I seen that we were going to get even more cast rate reduction with the dual wand. So since we're getting so much cast rate reduction, might as well just run really quick instead of do the slow teleport. Though a teleport character would work just fine, and teleport is nice. And he could even just throw on a Side of the Gods, since the helmet's not that important for the build. But we're going to go all into it. I'm still leveling what the final relic slot's going to be. Still trying to figure out what the best gear is for scaling. whether or not it's going more into arcane or just into the magic skill damage, and how much like projectiles and things like affect these mobs. So just wanted to give a little quick update on the season about what I'm doing with the Shaman. Also, just kind of what you can do with the Relic build, and then I'll add more here, especially if people are interested.